Hello, everybody. This is Ralph, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how I quit my office job to work full-time from home. And this has been a part of my journey that I've actually done twice. Once unsuccessfully, and then the second time was the charm, did that successfully after I learned my lessons from the first time that I tried and failed. But my first time that I tried to quit my office job and work full time from home. At that time, I had a real office job, probably one of the best office jobs of my life, even though it was extremely stressful and extremely demanding. But I was a full time pastor for a Christian church, did that for 6 years, was the senior pastor of a small country parish, and we built that place up. I mean, my wife and I went in there and we worked with the church board. We had some very exceptional people that we worked with. And when I first got in there, our church membership on any given Sunday was like 15 people. That was it. And then we had a few people in the church that envisioned growing the church much bigger. We wanted a youth group. We wanted, to expand the physical structure of the church. We wanted to expand the congregation. And so I got into the pulpit every Sunday with that in mind, thinking, how can I motivate people? How can I inspire people? How can I be more inspirational? And within 6 years, we had doubled the size of the physical church structure by adding on a fellowship hall, and we had increased the congregation size by tenfold. Yeah, it was about 150 on any given Sunday by the time I left. And after about 6 years, though, I began to get worn down, began to get burnt out. Ministry is as a profession, it has a very high burnout rate. And after 6 years, I was ready to move on to something else. And I figured that since we did such a good job on building the church, that I could do this from home, create my own church, create my own ministry, and doing it online. And in those days, I did not know much about online stuff, online anything. Some of the people in the old church had taught me how to send emails. That was pretty much about it. I hadn't discovered Facebook yet, hadn't discovered much about YouTube yet. And so, yeah, I struggled. But I thought that I could do it, so I quit without really having a backup plan. And my wife and I, we went back home. We were happy to be out of the fishbowl of ministry, but we really didn't have a plan for building our own organization and making it work. And after about a year, I really had to go out and get a manual labor job just to keep an income coming in. I didn't give up on the idea of doing home ministry. Matter of fact, we kind of took that idea and evolved it somewhat into what we're doing now. But I knew that I needed something to pay the bills. So went out to Walmart and got a full-time job unloading trucks. And if you've ever done that kind of work, man, it's not as easy as you might think. It's a little bit harder, as a matter of fact, because a lot of people, they think that when you're doing unloading trucks, that everything is shipped in on pallets. All you have to do is get in there with a pallet jack, move that stuff around, move that merchandise out, and take it off the pallet and get it out to the store. Well, the way Walmart did it when I was working for them, just about every truck was hand-packed. We're talking about big old trucks, big old trailers. There would be maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 pallets on each truck. The rest of the stuff would just be boxes that were thrown in, sometimes literally thrown in, hand-packed into the truck. So we'd get trucks that were, just fully packed, and we had to do a lot of that work by hand. And in July, I mean, God, that is a hot, sweaty job to be doing. But, I lost a lot of weight doing it. But when I was doing that stint, turned out to be a 3-year stint at Walmart, I was still thinking, how can I grow my own home-based business? I didn't give up on it. I knew that I had to learn from my past mistakes, and I knew that I had to just do a better job the next time that I quit. So I identified one of my weaknesses. And the first time that I quit, my main weakness was I did not have a plan. I thought it would just be so easy to quit my job, go home, think up a plan, monetize it, get it done. And it's not that easy. And I see a lot of people doing this, in other industries. They get tired of their office job. They get tired of their 9 to 5. They get tired of their manual labor job. They get mad. They tell their boss, I'm quitting. I've had it. I'm out of here. And then they go back home with no plan. And they're wondering, how can I make money start magically rolling into the household? And it's not that easy to do. It's not rocket science, but it's not that easy to do. It requires a shift in mindset. And so what I thought I would do the second time that I tried working from home is to get a part-time job that I controlled, a part-time job that I would create for myself. Get that going first. Get my own home-based business rolling part-time while I was working my full-time job and putting in like 40 hours a week plus travel time, which was a lot because it was a 2-hour drive, practically one way. I mean, it was a 120-mile round trip. So that takes a big chunk out of your day just traveling back and forth. But I thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my home-based business going in one form. And then once we get the money rolling in, we'll see about telling my boss goodbye. And so what I did is I tried to figure out what kind of a service was needed in my community. And I took a good look around my community. We have a lot of old people where I live, got a lot of retired folks, got a lot of people that are on their own, want to stay at home, but don't have the energy to really do a lot of their own work around the house. So I thought, okay, at that time I was, what was I, about 13, 14 years younger than I am now. And I thought I can rent myself out as a handyman because prior to my church ministerial experience, had a lot of experience in plumbing, in mowing lawn, and doing work around the house. So I thought I could rent myself out as a handyman, do lawn work, do pet sitting, do things like that, and get my own home-based business started while working my regular 9 to 5 job, which was anything but a 9 to 5. It was, 2 in the afternoon until about midnight. It was kind of odd hours, and I'm used to working odd hours. But no, I would be doing my home-based business, building it up as a side gig, and then continue to work my full-time job to pay the bills, and then give it time. And after about one season, after about 1 year of doing my part-time home-based business, I had built it up to the point where it was paying me very well. And so when that happened, I began to ask myself the question, is this the time to quit that full-time job? And of course, it was at this same time, too, that I had a lot of other pressures come into my life. My mom was showing signs of Alzheimer's disease. Turned out, yeah, she was. By the time I quit my full-time job and started working from home full-time, she was full-blown Alzheimer's. My dad, vascular dementia. We didn't want to put him in a nursing home. They were too healthy, I thought, to be locked away in a nursing home. So decided, okay, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to work from home, be a lot closer to home even though I'd be out in the local community doing odd jobs for people, and still be able to be close to mom and dad to take care of them in their elder years. And so that's what I did. One day I walked in, it was in April, told my boss, I've got to quit. I can't keep this up anymore. I've got my family to take care of. I've got my own business to take care of. It's been nice working here. I left that door open, but told him, gave him my 2 weeks notice, and he just smiled. He said, "Yeah, I can understand. I know what you've been doing. I know you're a good employee, and I wish you a lot of luck." And it was a nice departure from that job. I didn't burn any bridges. But when I quit the second time, I had a business already started that was already making me money. And I knew all I had to do was just ratchet that up in order to make it, my full-time home-based business. It was already a part-time home-based business. All I had to do was just put in little extra effort to make it full-time. And I was able to do that. And from there, we started out with me doing lawn care, being a lawn care guy, a handyman, a house sitter. And then we started exploring ways that we could be doing business online, giving advice, giving coaching to people. Because as a minister, that's what a lot of my job was. It was just doing life coaching with people from a spiritual perspective. But a lot of it was like family problems, love and relationship problems, basic spiritual problems. And so we found a way that we could be doing that online a lot more successfully, where my wife and I would be coaching people in love and relationships type issues and talking spirituality in a non-sectarian way, where people can come in with any religious background or no religious background at all and have a kind ear to listen to their problems and to give some heartfelt advice. And so, yeah, we've been doing that for the last, 13 years. But what made it possible to do that was doing it with a plan. Before I quit my job, I had a plan. And I worked that plan. And before I quit that full-time job, I already had the money coming in. So it wasn't a matter of firing my boss, getting my tail end back home, and then sitting down wondering how I'm going to get a paycheck coming in every week. Because I already had paychecks coming in several times a week from what I was already doing for a part-time gig. So if you are thinking about firing your boss, quitting your job, wanting to leave that office job or that manual labor job, quitting that 9 to 5 and working full-time from home, my experience is, yes, this can be done, but don't think it's going to be easy. It is worthwhile. It's not exactly rocket science, but it requires a mindset shift. Being an employee, being in that mindset, that's one thing. Being a home-based business person and owning your job and running your own company, running your own business, entirely different. Requires a totally different mindset. And I would say, get into that mindset change. There's a variety of ways you can do that. You can get involved in mastermind groups that will help you shift your mindset and become more of a free home-based business person in your mind and in your thinking. And that's a big part of it. And the other part is that you can start your own business from home part-time. And I recommend that people do this while still working their full-time job. Have a job that will pay the bills and then start building your business on the side, not just to pay the bills, but to build your future. Because your home-based business from day one probably will not be paying the bills. Matter of fact, it may be costing you more than you'd like to think because you've got to, some business models, you got to buy into it. You got to get training. You got to change your mindset. You got to learn how to do online marketing. If you want to build an online business, if you want to build up any other kind of business, you got to learn how to do that too. So you got to have the training. You got to, some businesses you do have to buy into. You've got to be advertising in some form, and that costs you either in your time, making YouTube videos and blog posts and social media posts, or, paid ads, and that costs you money. So you got to invest in your business. And in the beginning, it will seem like you're spending more money, more time on your business than it's bringing you in return. But after a while, over time, once you get going, once you actually start enjoying doing your business, and once you learn how to promote your business in a better fashion, then things will start to cascade. They will start to take off. You just have to kind of work through that starting patch in order to see that final destination. But yeah, if you've got a full-time job right now, you're thinking about working full-time from home, then I recommend a two-pronged approach. Keep your job. Keep doing that. And secondly, start building your home business on the side. Work it on the weekends. Work it a couple of hours during the day, during the week. Whatever you need to do. I mean, when I was doing it, I was putting in a couple of hours every day building my business while working full time at my other job. And then on the weekends, I put in like 4 or 5 hours a day doing the home biz and still be showing up for work every Monday at the other job. But I mean, it takes a lot out of you. But the thing is, once you get your home-based business built up that way, you will get to a point where you can just walk into your boss's office and tell him, her, hey, it's been nice knowing you, but I've got to go my own way. And when that day comes, try to leave on good terms, because not all home-based businesses are successful. The second time I tried it, it was. There's some people out there that try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. So you don't want to be burning bridges behind you, but you do want to enter into your new home-based business life with confidence, knowing that you are willing to do whatever it takes to make your business profitable. And if you enter into it with that mindset that I'm going to do this no matter what, I'm convinced nothing can keep you down. But don't burn your bridges behind you, and don't fire your boss until you know what you're going to do to replace that full-time job with. Build your home-based business from home part-time and grow it until it is able to take care of you full-time. So don't just fire your boss. Okay, this is Ralph signing off. Got to get out of here now. Got other things to do. I got a cat calling my name, wanting to be fed. So until later, this is Ralph signing off again, and we'll catch you in future updates. Until then, take care. Have a great one. Hope you found some value in this. Bye-bye. As always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe.